Shri Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Pranam, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Pranam, Pranam. Hari Om. Pranam, Pranam, Pranam. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Any shloka? Yes, okay. All of us are working in different fields. Nobody can remain without performing action. Any philosophy that takes us away from this action cannot be practical. Because right from the moment we get up, we are involved in various types of activities. Only the field is different, motive is different, the type of activities are different. So in the third chapter, when Arjuna got confused, because in the second chapter elaborately he was dealing with Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. So and at the same time, he was asked to involve in the battlefield. So he said, I got confused. Which is superior, tell me? Whether the sannyas, whether the dwelling on the infinite reality within is superior, or whether I convert karma as a yoga. Yoga means union with God. Which is superior? This particular seventh sloka of the third chapter is very, very, very relevant, because we are not after the academic knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Every time we should remind. So he says, Yastitindriyani Banasa Niyamyarapade Arjuna Karmendriyai Karmayogam Asakta Sa Vishishyate. One who, controlling the senses of the mind and remaining unattached, directs the organs of action to the yoga of action, he excels. Sa Vishishyate, he or she excels. Who? Indriyani Manasa Samyamya, who disciplines the sense organs by the mind. Now that is important. So that means actions are not for appeasing the senses of the mind. How does it come? Again we start thinking. When we are fired with a higher ideal and with prayer, and when the Lord facilitates us to move towards that ideal, all other things become pale into insignificance, Then it is not the sense organs, mind is running after the sense organs or the sense objects. But an ideal is there. I must reach this. And all my activities are directed towards that particular line of action. He or she is busy in the yoga of action with the sense organs of action. Such a person does it with a special yoga buddhi. That karma becomes karma yoga. not mere action, but action which can elevate a person spiritually. Asaktaha, unattached. Mind is not at all attached to these things. It has been detached from these things. Therefore, it can do things better and better. Asaktaha sa vishishyate. Such an unattached person is excellent. Here comes human excellence in action. This particular verse is the best description of excellence in action. Niyamya, disciplining, indriyani, sense organs, manasa, by the mind. Such a person is a karma yogi. He or she is most excellent. That is the training everyone has to give to the mind. A sense of masterliness is manifested here. One is not lost in the work, but is always free. Work with freedom, that is the idea. And Vedanta repeatedly says, work freely, give freely, whatever you do to the people, give it with a free mind, not with a sense of that conjuice or miserly attitude, with a very limited mind. So the seventh sloka, let us try. So whatever we do, we are trying to convert it into Karma Yoga. So when we repeat Ram Nam, we are praying to him, enable me to transform all that you make me to do as an offering to you. At the moment you make me to do, but I am not aware that you are making me to do. And because of that, I take up the agency, doership, and I expect the results also. But the moment I come to know, I become aware, when I am convinced that it is you who has given me the prompting to do that, then the question of balavesha also does not come, and attachment also does not come. Kindly think about it. He gave me a human life. He provided me with all sense organs of action and organs of perception, both you gave me. You facilitated for me to exist as an individual. You have provided everything that is needed for an individual to survive as an individual. And then you involve me in various types of activities. For some time to come, you have not made me aware of it. Now you are slowly teaching me, educating me to become intellectually aware of it. Now, my prayer is, when that is the reality, why don't you make me, enable me to see, to realize that you are behind this? And every activity, right from the minutest to the grossest. Previously, I was thinking, when I go to temple, when I go to puja room, when I offer something, I am offering to you. After that, only me and mine. My family problems, my professional problems, my social problems. But when I go to the puja room, when I go to a temple, when I see a Mahatma, I relate myself to you, that's all. And there ends the whole matter. But now you are slowly revealing to me, no, I gave you the human life. I provided you with all the mind, intellect, body, sense organs, everything I have given. And you have provided me with everything an individual needs to exist as an individual. And then you are prompting me to do so many things. Previously, I was thinking I was doing it. Now I am slowly realizing it, you are behind this. Why don't you make me steadied in that? Then all my activities do not relate to me. It is an offering to you. If this much is clear, we will try to do in our own humble way whatever we are doing it. And that is why he brings here excellence. When Shabari wanted to give the fruit to Lord Rama, she started tasting it, whether it is sweet or bitter. From the outward standpoint, it doesn't go well, But you see her motive. Whatever I offer should be sweet. At the moment, probably we may not be able to hold on to this throughout our activities in a day. But we can try, in some selected at least. Wherever the prompting comes, the remembrance comes, we can immediately associate, you have given me this opportunity, you are making me to do. சொல்கிறது புரிஞ்சுதா? புரியலை. என்ன பண்ணுறதையும் நமக்குங்கிற ஒரு 1 minute, some friends have come. நமக்கு உயிரை தந்ததே நம்மளில். நான் கேட்டுட்டவே எனக்கு அந்த உயிர் கிடச்சிது இல்லையா? நம்ம ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் உட்காந்துருக்கோமே, நம்ம ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் அம்மாவோட வயத்தில் கருவா வரத்த நம்மகிட்ட கேட்டுட்டா கருவானா இல்லையே? என்ன சும்மா இருக்கே? நம்மகிட்ட கேட்டுட்டா பண்ணினா நமக்கு தந்தது தானே இந்த வாழ்க்கை இல்லையா? புரியறதா? நான் சொல்கிறது புரிஞ்சுதா உங்களுக்கு? நம்ம சமத்தினால நம்மளுக்கு இந்த ஜென்மம் கிடைக்கலை. அவர் கொடுத்த பிச்சை அது. அம்மாவோட வயத்தில் 9.5 மாதம் இருக்கிறத நமக்கு என்னெல்லாம் தேவையோ அதெல்லாம் கொடுத்துருக்கார். பாடியை கொடுத்துருக்கார், மைண்டை கொடுத்துருக்கார், இன்டலெக்டை கொடுத்துருக்கார், 10 கர்மேந்திரியங்களை கொடுத்துருக்கார், ஞானேந்திரியங்களை கொடுத்துருக்கார். இதெல்லாம் அவர் கொடுத்து தானே, நம்ம ஒன்றும் பண்ணலையே. அப்போ பண்ணுறதெல்லாம் அவருக்கு கொடுக்கறது தானே. நான் வெளியில் வந்தப்போ நான் ஏதாவது கொண்டு வந்தேன்னா? நான் ஒன்றும் கொண்டு வரலையே. அப்படி பார்க்குறது எல்லாமே நீ தானே தந்திருக்காய். ஆனால் எனக்கு மறந்து போச்சு, எனக்கு புரியலையே, நான் மறந்துவிட்டேனே, நீ தான் இருக்கான்னு எனக்கு மறந்து போச்சு, நான் தான் பண்ணினேன்னு தான் எனக்கு தோணுறது. ஆனால் இப்போ முள்ள புரிய வச்சுட்டுருக்கியே புத்தியோட அளவில். இதெல்லாம் புத்தியோட அளவில் வந்திருக்கேன் இப்போது. அப்படி இருக்கிறத நான் செய்கிறதெல்லாம் உனக்கு தானே. அது ஏன் என்னை ஞாபகப்படுத்தக்கூடாது? அப்படியான நான் எதையும் விட்டு எங்கும் போக வேண்டாமே, எல்லாம் ஒன்னோடு தானே. இந்த கருத்தை தான் 3வது சாப்டரில் பகவத்கீதையிலே 7வது ஸ்லோகத்துக்கு கூடிய பகவான் நம்மகிட்ட சொல்கிறார். அப்படி என்ன பண்ணுறதையும் நம்ம அந்த திறமையோடு பண்ணுவோம். ஏன்னா அவருக்கு கொடுக்க வேண்டியது இல்லையா? நைவேத்தியம் பண்ணுறத நம்ம எத்தனை ஸ்ரத்தையோடு பண்ணுறோம் இல்லையா? ஏன்னா பகவானுக்கு அர்ப்பணம் பண்ணணும் அப்படி ஞாபகம் வரதே இல்லையா? அதே மாதிரி எல்லாத்துலேயுமே வரணுமே. நான் காலையில் எழுந்துட்டு ராத்திரி படுக்கிறது வரை என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணுறேனோ அந்த டைமில்லாம் இது ஞாபகம் வரணுமே. அதுக்கு நீ வழிவண்டி தரணுமே. அப்படிங்கிறத ஞாபகம் வந்துகிட்டே இருக்கணும். இதில் பகவான் நம்மகிட்ட சொல்கிறார், அப்படியான நீ செய்கிறதெல்லாமே எக்ஸல் பண்ணுற என்ன இல்லவா? விசிஷ்யதேன்னு சொன்னால் அது எக்ஸல், திறமையாக பண்ணுறது. அது 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 மற்றதை விட பெட்டர். எல்லாத்தையும் விட்டு போகிறத விட இதுதான் பெட்டர். அடுத்த ஸ்லோகத்தில் சொல்கிறார், நியதம் குரு கர்மத்துவம் கர்மஜ்யாயோஹ்ய அகர்மணா ஷரீரயாத்ராபி ஜதே ந பிரசித்தியேத கர்மணே. டூ யூ பர்ஃபார்ம் ஆப்ளிகேட்டரி ஆக்ஷன். என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணணுமோ அதெல்லாம். ஃபார் ஆக்ஷன் இஸ் சுப்பீரியர் டு இன்ஆக்ஷன். And even the bare maintenance of the body will not be possible if you are inactive. To maintain this body also we need some basic activities, Without activity nobody can live. That is the characteristic of this body. Niyatam kuru karma tvam. Whatever actions are to be done, do them well. While performing the household duties, while performing the professional duties, while performing the social duties, Do it well. No? Bhagavad Gita, 8th sloka says this. Whatever you are doing it, whatever actions are to be done, do them well. Suppose you are working in an office, you have got some responsibilities, discharge them properly. Let not anybody have to come to supervise or say, do this and do that. We need to develop self-respect so that we will do the work allotted to us to the best of our capacity. That attitude is an excellent attitude. A free people's attitude, far different from attitude of a slave for whom somebody must be there with a stick to see whether he or she does the work properly. That's the wrong attitude. So, niyatam kuru karmatvam. Whatever is apportioned to you as your duty, do it carefully, do it well. Karmajyayo hi akarmanaha. Karma is superior to akarma. All of us should keep on bringing this. We don't have to run away from any field, because every field is provided by Him. Every field is provided by Him. We were sharing, Papa was writing to a person who said, I feel now only as a wage earner. No. Then Papa said, you go to the genesis, you go to the origin of your activity. The company in which you are working, it was a concept in somebody's mind. God gave that concept to that particular person, and then with various contributory factors provided by God, that concept became a reality, it became an institution, and then God made you to apply for it. God gave you the necessary qualifications for it, and God saw to it that your application is accepted. You pass in the interview and you are selected as an employee, and now God is getting the work done through you, and He pays you the salary through His nimittam. So how can you be a wage earner? Apparently you are working for somebody, but you are not working for somebody, you are working for God. It may be a tall order for all of us, but still that is the truth. So that means no field is taboo, all field is given by God. Whether it is a family, whether it is a profession, whether it is a social involvement, all these things are provided by Him and Him alone. In the 9th, he will say that, Yat karoshi, yat ashnosi, yat juhoshi, yat tadasi, yat tavastyasi kaunteya, tat kurusha madarpanam. Whatever you are doing it, whatever you are eating, whatever you are offering, whatever austerities you are performing, everything you offer to me. So we have been asked to bring this dimension, because this is applied philosophy, If we are asked to leave everything and go to a cave and go within, it may not be possible, not workable, not practical. But here, he says, I don't have to go anywhere. Wherever you are, you have to do something even for the maintenance of your body. To carry on the body as a living entity, you need to do some work. If you say, I will be absolutely inactive, that won't be possible. The stress is on action. but with that yoga buddhi which was described in the second chapter. So the idea of getting anything by not doing any work is a very peculiar attitude, waiting for some magic or miracle to happen. No miracle is going to happen. The only miracle will be that you will be left behind. Lakshmi or fortune comes to that lion among human beings who is industrious. Udyoginam Purusha Simham. That lion among human beings, Upaiti Lakshmi. Lakshmi runs towards such a person with blessings. Meaning what? When I become creative, when I become productive, automatically Lakshmi will come. Devena Devamidi Kapurush Vadanti. The low level human being says that he or she depends on one's own destiny. So the verse says, throwing away all concept of destiny, through your own inner strength, be industrious, be active. In spite of all your efforts, you did not get exactly what you wanted. What is wrong with it? That intense struggle, that effort is the important thing. And most people do get when they undertake the struggle. Sometimes you may not get it, that is no reason why you should give up industry or activity. Then he says that the activity we do with and in this body can be made an instrument for our own spiritual liberation. That is the essential teaching of the Gita. That normally all the work you do increases the bondage, but because of the spiritual turn you give to it, you find work becomes an instrument of spiritual liberation. Normally this is how, the exact problem we have pointed out. When we are involved in action, we feel, we will get attached to it, so many problems will crop up, so better let me not do it. But you cannot sit idle. You have to be active. So the only option is you go to the genesis of the whole thing. Then we come to realize he has given us this field, wonderful field. He has given us the faculty or capacity to handle this situation. And our job is to do it, that's all. So this third chapter, it has to be repeatedly gone through by people like us who are involved in activities, Many a time we will feel, oh, I should be away from this. I must have a week's break. Something like that. Natural. Some holiday. In the midst of these hectic activities, I can't do that. It will all come. But by dwelling on these words of Lord Krishna, we slowly try to realize that all this drudgery, boredom, stress, everything has come only because I forget that it has been given to me. I have not transformed the karma to karma yoga. It may not be easily possible for all of us because our me and mine is so strong, it will not easily give up. It will not easily give up its right over us, So, but we keep on trying it. We keep it as an ideal. Ideal is to surrender everything. The word surrender, it is nice to say, but we have not still understood. Why we literally we have understood, but we have not understood. Because if we have understood, then problem will not be there, So nowadays we start feeling that the surrender becomes more and more clearer to us only when we try to bring in that he is behind, he is behind, he is behind, he is behind. And it is not a dictum or a dogma given to us. By our own contemplation, we know that it is he who has given us. It is not that somebody told us. So till 10 years or 15 years, this me and mine was not at all predominant. And today he has become so predominant that he decides, I plan, I do, I enjoy, I earn. No? So it is very difficult for us to hand over. So here Lord Krishna gives us the technique. He says that the activity we do with and in this body, with the body and in this body, can be made an instrument for our own spiritual liberation. This is the essential teaching of the Gita. That normally all the work you do increases bondage, but because of the spiritual turn you give to it, you find your work becomes an instrument for spiritual liberation. This idea is expounded now from 9th verse onwards. From another point of view, using a very ancient word which was so constantly used in Vedic literature, especially the ritualistic portion of the Vedic literature, the concept of yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. Normally, ritualistic sacrifice. Every doctrine, every religion has a chapter on sacrifice. You light a fire, offer things into that fire, that is called Vedic sacrifice. In the old ritualistic section of the Vedas, many types of sacrifices are mentioned. So the word yajna is used for it. Sri Krishna takes this word but gives it a new meaning. Makes it ethically significant. That is what he has done in the 3rd and the 4th chapter. Yajna or sacrifice. The whole world is based on it. So he says, Yajnartad karmano anyatra. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Tadartam karma kaunteya. Mukta sanka samachara. The world is bound by action other than those performed for the sake of yajna. You therefore, O son of Kunti, perform action for yajna alone, devoid of attachment. Yajna means offering. Whether at home or in the office or with the friends. The world is bound by such kinds of action which are not done in the spirit of yajna. If you do it in the spirit of yajna, there is no bondage at all. Tadartam karma kaunteya. Do your actions in the spirit of yajna. Mukta sangha samajaran. Free from attachment. Do that action. Then there will be no bondage. This is based upon the theory of sacrifices mentioned in the Vedic literature. This is true of all religions. Sacrifice is an essential item in the Jewish religion. The idea is you give something to the divine. Then what remains is yours. That is the most important concept of yajna. So you live on what remains as after yajna. First you give, then what remains after giving is good. So in the Manusmriti and in many other books, this idea comes repeatedly. Bondage comes when you cook and eat for yourself. When you eat after working for the good of others, what food remains is pure and holy. That is the language. One who cooks for oneself, eats only for oneself, eats only so much of sin. Sri Krishna is going to tell us soon that. That is the discharge of one's obligation to society, also to nature and to the whole world. Never forget that we are all interconnected. That concept of interconnectedness is the central theme of this chapter. Just like we perform a sacrifice that goes to God, they enjoy it, they send you rain, other valuable things back. That is the old idea. Extend that to the whole of life and to the universe. Take it away from that ritualistic mooring. Make it an inter-human and inter-nature philosophy. Make it ethical and moral. Then we shall be able to understand what Krishna has done with that word yajna. Yajnartat karmanonyatra. Lokoyam karmabandhana. When work is not done in the spirit of yajna, this world suffers bondage from action. A selfish person works only for oneself. Naturally, it is bondage. This contraction of life to a point, any action done without the spirit of yajna inspiring it, makes for bondage. Therefore, tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. And that is why in the next sloka he says how we are all interconnected. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuva parasparam bhavayantam shreya paramavapsita. Cherish the devas with this, and may those devas cherish you. Thus cherishing one another, you shall gain the highest good. In the book The Secret Life of Plants, written in America, you will find the word Deva used again and again. It is the personification of nature's forces. And when we help them, they help you. So nourishing each other, parasparam bhavayantam. All will rise to the highest level. Mutuality, interdependence is the way to progress. Not by isolation, not by confrontation, but not by exploitation. We violate nature, we become violated by nature. This should not happen. Nature is not something to be destroyed. Nature can be used, but it must be replenished also. If you don't replenish it, you will be in trouble. And today the whole world is conscious of this problem. It is in this context that we should see this exposition of yajna by Sri Krishna in the 3rd chapter of the Gita. Parasparam bhavayanta shreya paramavapsita. Help each other. Then both of you will achieve progress. Go on destroying each other, both will perish. In one particular field, you can see this truth being recaptured by a group of people. In America, we have the women's liberation movement. About 20 years ago, it started in a big way. We don't want to be a slave of man. We don't want to be tied down to the kitchen. This is a prison to us, let us get out. It's a joy that we shall be ourselves. That was the beginning of the liberation movement. Betty Friedman, the famous liberationist, wrote, which began this liberation. Now after 20 years, families are breaking down. Children have no parents. So many problems are arising in American society. And this very lady goes around America and writes a second book. There she quotes the remarks of many women who have been liberated from the household and the kitchen and are in high employment, but they complain they have not achieved a real liberation. We are still treated as an item among items in industry. We have not discovered our personality at all. We get high salary, no doubt, but there is no real liberation. This very author, therefore, gives one or two beautiful ideas, which are old ideas put in a new context. And the first principle she says is, there is no woman liberation apart from man's liberation. I like it very much. It is the echo of the Gita idea, parasparam bhavayanta shreya paramavapsita. I have quoted her exact words in my booklet. I am giving this example to say, we think we can do it alone, but we cannot. For some time we can do, then we shall find that it will not be possible. You will have to carry others also with you. Nobody will be happy otherwise. women will not be happy, men will not be happy, of course, children will never be happy in such a situation. So, Parasparam Bhavayanta Shreyam Paramam Apsudha is a wonderful message Sri Krishna is giving to all humanity. Even the relationship between countries and countries is based upon this principle. They were constantly enemies of each other, iron curtain. Then it became a bamboo curtain. Even that curtain is going away now. That is the start of the spirit of healthy international human relationship. That is what the divine creator gave to the world along with the creation. Strengthen this yajna value. We will all be happy. Weaken it, we shall be in trouble. That yajna includes not only our relationship but also with nature. Tremendous recognition of this mutuality between humanity and its natural and human environment. This is the immense scope. There is immense scope of this teaching. So the principle of a healthy social life is also based on the Parasparam Bhavayanta principle. Not by fighting with each other, but by helping each other, serving each other. That will help all people to rise to the highest level. If you take from nature and not give back to nature, you will suffer. Take, give back. Take, give back. This is the nature of a healthy human environmental relation. So when we come to verse 16, we shall come across the very term chakram or wheel of cycle being used by referring to the term ecological cycle. Just like what we see in a seed, then a sprout, then a plant, then a flower, then the fruit, and again back to the seed. There is a chakram there. So also solar energy coming down to the earth, becoming plants, natural energies, animals, human beings, and the energy goes back again. In this way there is a chakram. This is a cosmic principle according to this Gita chapter. We are concerned only with the earth and the nearby environment, but actually yajna is a cosmic principle expressing what modern science has recognized as interrelatedness of things. So 2-3 things today Papa wanted us to dwell on it. That transforming every action into an offering to Him. It should start from the minutest. Just now they used, when we violate nature, we will be violated by nature. We are experiencing acute water shortage. Somebody unknowingly opened the tap, water was not coming, they forgot. When the water started coming, what happened? Entire water got drained. Result, I am without water. Simple thing. Yesterday it had happened in a room, that's why we remember this. So everything when we do it, so when we open the tap, it's a karma, we can transform it into a karma yoga. In order that the water is available to everybody, it has been controlled and given. That is why the tap has come. Whoever wants it, they can open the tap, get the water and go. Suppose I am careless about it. Not only that I suffer, everybody else suffers. Parasparam Bhavayanta. Think about it. So we have to start from the minutest. Whatever we do right from now. So we have been asked to transform every karma to karma yoga. We may not be able to transform everything. That level none of us have reached. But we will try now. That is the central message. So two messages. One is transforming karma to karma yoga. The other is interrelatedness, interconnectedness. So whether I am doing household work or an office work or a social work, I can make it as an offering to God. So every field is His, no field is taboo. This is what I do in my puja room. No? Elders initiated us to go to the puja room first because this is the lesson. Acha, morning we have our bath with all purity, outer purity. We go there. It is a symbolic representation of the inner purity also. And then we offer certain things to the Lord and then come out of it. But it is a rehearsal. At that time we did not know. We thought, doing puja is good. But doing puja means we are trying, then whatever you have used, it is not yours. The tulsi or the flowers, it's a gift of Mother Nature. The water, you put it in the Jalapatra, you have not produced. The agarbatti, the matchbox, the lamp, the oil, have we brought anything? Can we claim anything? But the moment we come out of the puja room, we feel we have offered something, we have done puja, that's what we feel, So initially when we are asked to do this, we did not know that this was something, a rehearsal to transform everything into this attitude. When you keep the tulsi there, when you keep in a plate, how meticulously you are keeping it separately. You would have washed it, kept it there because it is going to be offered to him. You don't throw that, you offer it like that. And the water collection and the Naivedya and the agarbatti, the karpura, the garland we put on the deity. Just imagine, do we throw like this? No. There is a spirit of offering, which we cannot explain what it is, but there is a reverential attitude towards it. Now we realize when we go through the 3rd chapter, and also in the 9th chapter it will come, Patram Pushpam Balam Toyam, Anything you offer, I will accept it. So that means whatever I do has to be converted into a puja. I have not practiced that all these years. To me, cooking was cooking, cleaning was cleaning, office work was office work, social activities were social activities. I have never brought in this dimension that everything is an offering to him. But Buddhi Yoga, through Buddhi Yoga, Sri Krishna says, a little bit of contemplation, then we realize behind the origin of everything, it is He and He only. So this is an important aspect in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is directly related to our daily life. Anybody would like to say anything?
Work is worship.
Work. That's why it's called work is worship. Work becomes work, but work can become a worship only when we try to introduce this dimension. Very difficult in the initial stages, but intense manana will slowly make us to accept.
And we should offer only the good things to Lord. We should offer good things to Lord.
Not only good things, whatever, we will only offer good things. You are right. We will excel in everything, then only we will give that. With what Shraddha we prepare. We remember our old days when this Bhagavati Seva is performed in our home. Bhagavati Seva is an elaborate big puja. It takes about 3-4 hours. The priest will come and put the Padmam. The Padmam itself, it will take more than an hour or two. And then mother will ask us to take bath. And she will say that you have to prepare the Naivedyam. So after taking bath without touching anything, we go and clean the vessel to make the payasam for the Devi. And step by step, first we put water, we put the jaggery, boil it, remove the sand from it. Pure jaggery is there. We boil rice. When it is half boiled, we put the whole thing there and keep on stirring, Every now and then she will come and say that, why stirring? Otherwise it will get burnt. You can't offer it to the deity. So much of Shraddha. And then we ask somebody to help us to lift it and then take it to the place where the puja is performed. And it will be untouched by anybody until it is offered. Even now, those who have gone to the temples, especially Guruvayur, Kerala temple, you will find that when he prepares that there will be a signal. All of us have to leave the place. He will bring before it is offered to the Lord so much of material. So we thought, we were limiting that activity to a ritual. But in Bhagavad Gita, he opens it up. It is not a ritual. It is no doubt a ritual initially, but later on you have to transform everything. What did you do while preparing the payasam, the Naivedyam? You took bath, you cleaned the vessel, you put it in the oven, then you were very particular, you have brought the jaggery from outside. The jaggery may contain sandy articles, so it has to be separated. For that we have to boil it and then sift it. So much care. Now when we go through these slokas, we remember that. Mother did not explain that we are trying to transform. But what she gave us at that time now proves to be very helpful. What sort of an attitude we developed in our mind, transforming an activity into a noble activity. An ordinary activity of cooking a sweetened rice becomes a divine activity. Think about it. That we forgot. That is why we limited to that particular field and particular activity. But now when we go through Parasparam Bhavayantam Shreya, interconnectedness, interdependence, what is excellent is to be offered, whether we are at home or in the office or with friends. I am not doing for my wages, I am not doing for my bosses, I am doing it for the satisfaction of offering it to the Lord, who is there in the form of the institution, who is there in the form of my colleagues and bosses, who is there in the form of my customers. It may look very tall now, but we try, This is by making us to take up an in-depth study. He is now trying to unravel the mystery behind everything. He is opening up everything. And very importantly, from the minutest we have to do. Whatever I do, be a fitting offering at thy holy feet. Whatever I do, let whatever I do be a fitting offering at thy holy feet. So it should be a 100% quality based. Correct. Is the
Shiva Manasa Puja.
We limited to that particular ritual. Correct. Yeah, correct. Now when we go back to our own life, it becomes very clear to us now. Whatever we were asked to do at home, in the school, or later in the office, we find everything is getting connected. Interdependence, interconnectedness. We all had our education up to SLC in Wayanad, no? Malayalam medium. And then we get an employment in Chennai. And then after 5 or 6 months or 1 year, I don't know, when the boss said, you reply to this letter, we flatly said we can't do it. Then he said, why? In Malayalam we said we don't have parijayam, we don't have experience. He said experience will not come from the skies. You start doing it. Everything you have learned only by repeatedly doing it. Trial and error method will be there. So you start writing. We were reluctant. We now realize. Alphabets have been given to us by God. Conjugation of verb is given by Him for the proper use of that language. If grammar is not there, I will not be able to use the language. So letters, language is necessary, but grammar is necessary. Because only when we combine these three, then we try to bring out good words, phrases, idioms and phrases. And then all the idea is to convey what we have in a pleasant way to the person to whom we are writing. So then, at that time, we did not realize. We thanked the boss because he encouraged us to write. He corrected the mistake. He never belittled anything. He will not say that this is wrong, this is nonsense, but he said, don't you think it will be better if you present like this? And so now we understand everything. Looking back to our own life, he gave the alphabets, he gave everything for what is needed for the language, and the purpose of the language is to communicate in a friendly manner, in a pleasing manner to the other people who are also his creation. And when we do that, you are happy, the other party is also happy, no? So he said that, why are we replying? One customer writes, we are replying. This contact is the one which is going to build up our relationship. We limited that to that, official relationship. We never took it. It is a guidance for our own very life. Now when we go through this third chapter, it becomes very, very clear. So with the background of this third chapter, when we get involved in worldly matters, household matters, professional matters and social matters, our whole perspective will be different. So we have to go back to our own life to understand all these, so that it doesn't become academic knowledge, it becomes experiential knowledge. Though at that time we did not realize, now we can connect it up. So many things become clearer to us when we approach Gita with this attitude. Even then Bhagavad Gita was there in our home, but we did not. We did not know. Even if we have read, probably we would not have understood. We would not have related to our daily life. But when Papa drew us, then everything is related to daily life. Nothing is disconnected with the common run of life. There is no divide between spiritual and worldly. Anything else? Ah.
There's a bit of clarification between sannyas, karma yoga, jnana karma sannyasa yoga, and moksha sannyasa yoga.
Three. Karma yoga, karma sannyasa yoga, moksha karma. Difference.
We have been hearing that if we renounce, we get detached from the fruits of action, it will take us directly to Him. So why not we try to practice that? Any action, when that is transformed into an offering to God, it becomes karma yoga. Karma has got a knack of pulling us away from the ideal. So that is why in certain cases they recede from the common run of activities and try to go inward and try to dwell on His Sannidhyam, which is normally termed as sannyas. But in Bhagavad Gita we have been told that as long as we have got a body, sharire yatrapi, it has come, even for the maintenance of this body we need some activity. So, just now somebody was telling that we don't know whether it is right or wrong, our interpretation. But this is what he makes us to think now. Sannyasa, as understood in the old age period, and sannyasa now is totally different. It has become a yuga dharma. Previously, we were just sharing to a friend now. Previously, when sannyasa is taken, the first and foremost thing is to go out. Parivrajagan. And mostly they were aiming towards going to Himalayas because less population will be there and you can lose yourself. And it is a test on you whether your reliance on God is total or not. But now, whether you are a sannyasi or a grihastha or an employee, you must carry your Aadhaar card. I want to eliminate myself, lose myself. I should become zero. That is the real purpose of sannyas. Handing over completely to Him. But now, when I go there, somebody will come and ask, show me your... Even if I go to an ashram, they will ask. We are asking, why we go? Anandashram is asking. Till 3 years or 4 years back, when we all came here, nobody bothered to ask us anything. Where from you are coming, nobody bothered. What is your name, what is your profession, nobody asked. Why you came, that also Mataji did not ask. That was the real. But that means self-effacing. Now, not only when, suppose you want to give an offering, we will immediately ask, have you got a PAN account? So the more and more we get self-centered, unknowingly, unwittingly, the Yuga Dharma, So it is not the Yuga Dharma to practice sannyas now, bluntly speaking. You only change your dress. Maybe there may be some rare or the rarest. But the statute now says, that you should have a chapa. The sense of individuality is stamped forever. So when you go to Rishikesh now or Haridwar, I am sure every ashram will ask you first your Aadhaar card or your identification card. Anywhere now. So that means the me and mine is always reminded in me, whereas the purpose of sannyas is to hand over. So we have to see the difference. Even if I walk alone, somebody will ask, why are you walking alone? No? Have you gone off the head? Do some job, productive job. So those change, it has changed. So you are talking about karma yoga, karma sannyas. So what is needed is, when we say karma sannyas, it is not the renunciation of the action, but renunciation of the fruit of the action. And in the last 18th chapter, he said, moksha sannyas, moksha sannyas.
No matter when he
That means till we feel, till we merge, till the river meets the ocean, with all said and done, though the ocean is moving toward river is moving toward the ocean, still the river is there. So even if the purity has come to 99%, the sense of individuality still remains. Moksha is the highest word where the merging takes place, where I become zero. I become absolutely zero. I become one with the cosmic reality. So 18th chapter highlights this. Everything is, we don't then differentiate this and that. Karma, sannyas, everything. All these things becomes merged in him. Then the sense of individuality becomes zero. Gandhiji was telling, when he wrote his biography, My Experiments with the Truth, he gave it to Vinobaji to go through. Vinobaji went through the whole thing and then gave it back to Gandhiji. Gandhiji asked him like a child, is it all right? So Vinobaji said, being a votary of truth, you will not utter untruth. So because you don't utter untruth, it will not be harmful to anybody. Then like a child, he clasped and said, that is what we want. It should not be harmful to anybody. Because ultimately, Vinobaji has written, he showed like this, we have to become zero. Just imagine, all these things well up in our mind, because the 18th chapter, the name has been given as moksha sannyas. Even the sannyasi feeling will not be there, Previously, the river was lot of dirts, and then it became, as it went on flowing, it became perfect, pure. But the moment it got merged in the ocean, even that identity is gone. So Lord Krishna symbolically says, when you travel 17 chapters and enter into 18th chapter, and at the end of the 18th chapter, it should be like Papa's that poem, Milanya Gati Prabhuji. Good that you raised that point. Very nice. Hari Om. So today this is a very, very solid message Papa gave to all of us, quoting from 3rd chapter. Like that, let us see how he takes us further. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Hari Om to everybody.
Hari